Finding my strength. Standing alone in my kitchen at 9 months pregnant, I methodically chopped vegetables for dinner while my other hand rested on my growing belly. The steady rhythm of the knife against the cutting board matched the ticking of our wall clock. A constant reminder that David would be home soon, expecting his dinner to be ready. My name is Lisa, and this was my first pregnancy. While filled with the natural anxiety of a first-time mother, I felt truly blessed about welcoming our new family member. However, my husband David's behavior had been making this experience far more challenging than it needed to be. David worked as a white-collar professional with weekends off, but he rarely offered support around the house or helped with shopping. Instead, he spent almost every weekend at his parents' home nearby, maintaining what he called a deep bond with them, though there was never any specific reason for these constant visits. Since becoming pregnant, I've been especially careful about lifting heavy objects. When buying necessities like rice, understanding friends often helped out. My daily routine had become a well-rehearsed performance, waking up early to prepare David's breakfast, seeing him off to work, then tackling the cleaning and laundry before heading out for any necessary shopping. Only after completing dinner preparations could I finally find some time for myself. After taking maternity leave, I discovered a new passion in blogging. Each day, I would write entries accompanied by photos. Meals I prepared, the blue sky overhead, flowers blooming in our garden. Friends and acquaintances often left encouraging comments, and these moments of connection have become small daily joys in my increasingly isolated life. One evening, as I prepared dinner, I heard David return home. He carelessly dropped his bag and jacket on the sofa, and I quietly tidied them away, hanging them properly. "Welcome back," I said softly. "I made hamburgers for dinner." "I'm going to take a bath," he responded curtly, heading straight for the bathroom. 3 years of marriage had taught me not to expect much kindness or consideration from him anymore. Sometimes I wondered if this was truly what a marriage should feel like, but I'd learned to resign myself to it. When David returned in his pajamas, I handed him a drink. His immediate response was, "Where's the beer?" "Sorry, I forgot to buy it today. I'll get some tomorrow." His demeanor changed instantly, anger evident in his voice. "Seriously? Go to the convenience store now." The request irritated me. "If you want it so badly, why don't you go get it yourself? It's hard for me to move around with this big belly." His anger escalated, and he started shouting. "You're the one who forgot to buy it. It's your job to fix that mistake. Just because you're pregnant doesn't mean you get special treatment. My mother always said it's important to keep moving for the sake of health." Knowing that he wouldn't calm down easily when angry, I reluctantly decided to go to the convenience store. Upon arriving, I encountered Sarah, a neighbor who often brightened my days with her cheerful presence. "Oh, Sarah, good evening," I greeted her, trying to mask my distress. "Good evening, Lisa. Did you forget something too?" "I ran out of sauce," she replied with her characteristic warmth. "My husband really wanted beer, and he told me to buy it," I explained, the words tasting bitter in my mouth. "Why didn't he just go himself?" Sarah's question echoed my own thoughts exactly. "That's what I said, but it didn't get through to him." Sarah's expression softened with concern. "You're having a tough time, aren't you, Lisa?" After walking together for a bit, we parted ways at a crossroad. When I returned home, David was lounging on the sofa watching TV, having made no effort to clean up after dinner. "Why did it take you so long? What were you dawdling around for?" "Give me the beer," he demanded, his voice thick with irritation. I handed him the beer without a word and began cleaning up after the meal, my heart aching from his insensitive remarks. I wanted to retort, to defend myself, but the thought of another shouting match kept me silent. The next morning, David acted as if nothing had happened. He seemed to be the type who forgot everything after a good night's sleep. But I couldn't forget his words from the previous night, and I consciously ignored him. "Why are you making that face so early in the morning? Don't take it out on me," he complained. "I'm heading to work now, so be a bit considerate. You know the importance of appreciation, right?" His words filled me with the urge to point out his own lack of appreciation, but all I could manage was a deep sigh as I saw him off. "I won't eat dinner tonight. See you," he called out, leaving in a hurry without any explanation. After he left, I took care of the household chores and went shopping as usual. Since he said he wouldn't be home for dinner, I decided to prepare something simple just for myself. However, Just as I was about to start my solitary meal, I heard his unexpected return. "I'm back," he announced. "Welcome back, but you said you didn't need dinner today." "Yeah, but my drinking party got canceled." "I'm hungry. You have something to eat, right?" "Well, I only prepared a meal for myself today." His face contorted with anger upon hearing this. "Didn't you even consider the possibility I might come back? This is unbelievable." He moved to the dining table, and upon seeing the dinner I prepared, his mood worsened further. "What do you call this a meal? I seriously question if you're properly doing your duties as a housewife. Don't waste the money I'm working for." I quickly prepared something for myself. "Please don't get mad like this. Maybe you should learn proper cooking from my mom. Honestly, I've always found your cooking lacking." His constant comparisons to his mother cut deep. "I can't eat this. Go buy something. It's already night, and I've taken a bath. Can't you go buy it yourself?" "Forget it. You forgot to buy beer yesterday, didn't prepare dinner today. It's so frustrating. I'm going back to my parents' place." With that, he stormed out. Left alone in the house, I felt a strange sense of relief. The next morning, as expected, I received an angry call from David's mother. "How can you not serve David a proper meal? This feels like moral harassment, if not worse." I tried to explain what had happened, but she wouldn't accept it. After apologizing just to end the call, my mood plummeted completely. Since David wasn't home, I decided to have a leisurely late brunch. However, the thought of him coming back that night weighed heavily on my mind. Considering yesterday's events, I decided to make tonight's dinner special. I shopped with more care than usual, selecting ingredients and making sure to add David's favorite beer to the cart. I was determined to prepare a dinner that would earn his praise. I shortened my blog update time to allocate more time for cooking. After dedicating ample time to preparations, I set the table beautifully, as if for a special occasion. Looking at it, I felt a sense of accomplishment and couldn't help but praise myself. With this spread, I thought he should definitely be satisfied. I waited patiently in the dining room for David to come home, but as time passed, there was no sign of him. I tried contacting him several times via my smartphone, but there was no response, and I grew increasingly worried as the hours ticked by. 1 hour passed, then 2. I began to get anxious. Had he possibly gone to his parents' house? I called them to check, but they said he hadn't come there either. I tried calling David multiple times, but still no response. As midnight approached, just when I was considering contacting the police, a staggering David returned home, clearly drunk. "I'm home," he slurred. I rushed to the entrance in concern and found him lying on the hallway floor. "What happened? Are you okay?" Hearing my voice, he responded angrily, "Too loud. Go away." He staggered toward the dining room, and when I tried to support him, he forcefully shook off my hand. "Don't touch me. Don't come near me with that ugly face. To think you're my wife." In his drunken state, he spat out those words and then just lay down right there. His remarks were beyond shocking. Why couldn't he consider others' feelings? His words hurt me deeply, and I was filled with thoughts that maybe he no longer saw me as family. Tears welled up in my eyes as I looked at the elaborate dinner I'd prepared. It was all for nothing. I ate alone, enveloped in loneliness. The next morning, David woke up as if nothing had happened. "My head hurts. I guess I drank too much. But why did you leave me in the hallway?" "You chose to lie down there, David. It's not my fault." "Aren't you my wife? At least take care of me when I'm drunk." His words made me wonder why he always blamed me right away. "If you weren't going to eat at home, you could have at least let me know. I prepared a nice meal and called you multiple times. Why didn't you answer?" "My drinking party from the day before got rescheduled to yesterday. Do I have to report everything? Besides, you know how hard it is to pick up the phone during a gathering. Think about my situation." With every word David said, my heart grew colder, and my expectations of him diminished. I realized that if I lowered my expectations even further, I wouldn't feel hurt or disappointed anymore. A few days later, David made an unexpected suggestion after returning home. "Hey, want to go on a family trip soon?" "Really?" I was surprised by the offer. "But I'm talking about a family trip with my mom and dad. They want to join." I was taken aback. Why would his parents make such a proposal? Tensions existed between me and David's parents, and whenever there was an issue concerning David, they tended to blame me. I'm about to give birth soon, and traveling a long distance might be a bit risky. I expressed my concern. How many times do I have to tell you? Just because you're pregnant doesn't mean you're sick. My parents are thoughtfully inviting us. But what if something happens? It'll be fine. Everything's already decided. We'll go for 2 nights and 3 days next week. Next week is my due date. That's a bit. Just do as you're told. Prepare for the trip. End of discussion. David just expressed his opinion and then left the room. I was troubled by this situation. The next day, I sought advice from a close friend and explained everything. She was concerned and agreed that it was too much. While I was contemplating how to decline the offer, the day of the trip suddenly arrived. Actually, I'm not feeling well today. I'm worried about the baby, so I'm going to rest at home. I tried to use that as an excuse, but David didn't seem convinced. Anyway, you can just rest in the car and you'll be fine. Come on, bring the luggage. We're heading to my parents' house, so hurry up. As we headed to the car, I was worried and asked, "Is this really okay?" After loading our luggage into the car and sitting in the passenger seat, I felt warmth at my feet. Looking down, I noticed water spreading around them. Oh my water broke. I immediately informed David. "David, I think my water just broke. Please take me to the hospital quickly." Taken aback by the situation, David exclaimed, "Are you serious?" "Yes, I'm serious. We need to go to the hospital now. The baby might be coming." While I was trying to clean up the water with a towel in the car, David suddenly opened the passenger door. "David, what are you doing? We need to go to the hospital." "Get out. You're going to make a mess in the car." I was in complete shock. "What are you saying?" I said, "Get out. I need to clean the car." Then David forcefully pulled me out of the car. In this unbelievable situation, he said, "I can't believe this. We were supposed to be on a family trip. Just go to the hospital by yourself." I was too shocked to say anything. As I called out to David, "Wait, how can you leave me here like this?" he drove away, leaving me behind. Feeling overwhelmed, I quickly dialed for an ambulance when someone approached asking, "Lisa, are you okay?" It was Sarah, looking concerned. She immediately recognized my predicament and arranged for a special taxi, comforting me throughout. Grateful for her kindness, tears streamed down my face. Soon after, I safely arrived at the hospital thanks to Sarah's help. On the way, she held my hand and cheered me up, staying by my side until I was taken to my room. While being transferred, I made a silent vow. I will make him pay for this. Even as labor pains grew, Sarah kept holding my hand. Furthermore, she contacted my parents, who soon arrived at the hospital and looked deeply concerned. Sarah whispered to them, "There's something I want to discuss." The 3 then left the room. As the labor pains intensified, my smartphone vibrated from a corner of the room. When my parents checked who it was, they said it was David. They looked displeased, but I took the call anyway. As soon as I answered, I heard a panicky David say, "Help me." However, I was in no state or mood to converse with him and promptly ended the call. Despite my parents turning off my phone, David continued to send messages. As labor intensified, I was finally moved to the delivery room. After enduring the pain for some time, I finally heard my baby's cries. Exhausted, I saw my parents and Sarah standing before me with warm smiles. Relieved, I closed my eyes and rested. When I woke up after a few hours of sleep, I found myself lying in the hospital bed. Rubbing my eyes, I noticed my parents sitting next to me, their faces filled with concern. "Are you okay?" my mother asked gently. Still feeling the weight of exhaustion, I couldn't muster the energy to sit up. While my father looked teary-eyed, my mother consoled him, saying the postpartum period can be exhausting. Witnessing this heartwarming scene, a smile formed on my face. "How's the baby?" I inquired. My parents informed me that the baby was undergoing some tests, but would be back in the room soon. However, I noticed Sarah wasn't present. Responding to my unspoken question, my mother remarked, "Sarah left a little while ago." Thinking about how things might have turned out had Sarah not been there, a feeling of gratitude settled over me. I made a promise with my parents that after being discharged, I would visit Sarah to express my gratitude. Turning on my smartphone to inform my friends about the birth, I was met with an overwhelming number of missed calls, mostly from David. The sheer number left me momentarily stunned, but I felt no hope or expectation from his calls, so I closed the notifications without hesitation. One of my friends visited the hospital room to congratulate me on the birth. As she rejoiced and extended her genuine wishes, I opened up about the recent incidents with David. After hearing the story, she expressed both shock and anger, half-jokingly saying she'd like to punish him a bit. But she also emphasized that my health and rest were paramount. My parents, already briefed by Sarah about the whole episode, asked, "What are you planning to do next?" I shared my thoughts about my relationship with David and told my parents I was considering divorce. They respected my decision and provided their support. Upon my discharge, I planned to stay at my parents' house, where they had prepared a room for me. Meanwhile, David seemed to have visited the hospital, but as I had informed the hospital staff that I didn't wish to see him, he wasn't allowed in. The next day, Sarah came to my hospital room holding a fruit basket. "Sarah, you came?" I exclaimed with delight. "You seem to be recovering well, but remember not to overexert yourself. Postpartum fatigue can be quite profound," she advised. Feeling comforted by Sarah's words, I sighed with relief, taking the fruit basket from her. "Sarah, thank you so much for helping me. I don't know what would have happened if you weren't there." I expressed my deep gratitude as I bowed deeply. Sarah gently laughed, saying, "What's most important is that both you and the baby are healthy. I just lent a small hand. Regardless, I'm forever grateful."